Welcome everybody, Brennan T. Adams here, Emmy Award-Winning Producer, Investor, and CEO of KBAT Holdings. And this is my weekly show that I have where I'm sharing everything from behind the scenes of my life, from different things I've learned to travel in the country, investing, you name it. And I want to talk about storytelling, the power of storytelling, how it's impacted my life, and how you can implement storytelling in selling, in speaking, in all areas of your life. Storytelling is the most powerful thing that we have. From having conversations around a fire, to using storytelling, to selling, to speaking on stage. If you can tell a right story, you can get people to understand who you are and what you do, but also build that connection. And you can use storytelling to sell, to enroll others, to make an impact in people's lives. It's actually proven that people are more likely to retain information if you tell a story. You know, Tony Robbins, if you've ever been to one of his events, he's one of the greatest storytellers. And he tells you that by me telling you stories, it's more likely you're going to retain the information, and there's more likely you're going to actually do something with it. So the greatest speakers out there that I've seen learn to master their storytelling process. Telling stories from past experiences, telling stories that are entertaining, being funny, but going deep into a story where people can actually see themselves in that story, which means they're following along. Think about when you were a kid. When you were a kid and you had your parents or whoever read a story to you, you can follow along with it. Think about the best films out there. It tells a great story. Videos. The great videos out there tell a great story. So for me, I started telling my story back a decade ago, from creating videos online, from Facebook Lives to Instagram stories to posts, then into podcasting, telling stories in podcasting, and then going on to doing different TV shows and documentaries, where I found out the power of telling stories allowed you to connect with the audience on a deeper level, but also it allowed you to build an audience, build a tribe, build a following that not only would support you, they would buy from you, and they would remember you. And so my storytelling started on the production side and video content, and then went on to now. I mean, we've done multiple documentary shows, won Emmys, and we use storytelling in all areas of our business. From when we are on a call with the client to close a big deal or we become equity partners, I use storytelling in my communication in telling stories of how we can work together, telling stories of how we can build a future together. So tell stories. Now, when it comes to public speaking, if you are looking to become a public speaker, really understand the master of storytelling. You know, I first really heard this in a way was from Jeff Hoffman, co-founder of Priceline.com. Jeff Hoffman talked about how storytelling can really help people understand something. But Jeff one time came to me, we were having a conversation. What I learned is, after I spent more time with him, every time I asked a question, he didn't just answer the question. He answered it with a story. And the story always stood with me. And I learned more. So I learned more when people tell me stories and how they respond with things. And I saw how he did his speaking. Amazing talks that he's did over the years, even at my own events. And I saw how he told stories. And so for me, I implemented that in my speaking. When I speak, I literally just compile a bunch of stories which have a lesson learned, a call to action, or something inspirational, motivational. And based on the audience that I am speaking to will determine which story I share, because that story will actually relate with somebody. If I'm speaking to a group of CEOs, I'm gonna tell stories from experiences I've had as a CEO. I'm gonna relate it to my audience so it's more likely to impact them and they can see themselves in that story. And I look at some of the greatest projects, greatest films of all time. It implemented the right storytelling process, the hook to keep people in, what's the beginning, what's the what's gonna happen next, and then what's the ending. But you gotta really craft the story and make it engaging and get people's attention. So storytelling, if you're not implementing it in your life, in your communication, in your sales, in your films, in your videos, you need to be doing it. And one way you can learn more is you can actually go to Rise and Record. You know, my wife and I years ago put together this event called Rise and Record, and really we did it because we had filmed a show called Success in Your City, which we traveled the country and learned from other people's stories and filmed it into a docu-series. And after doing that, we realized after all the interviews, we're like, people are sharing their story on camera, but it's made such an impact not only in their life, but other people's lives who watched it. And through that journey, we came up with this concept around Rise and Record, where you can rise up and share your story with the world. And now we're going on year 4 of Rise and Record. This event has speakers, it has meetups, it has different entertainment, and we've had musicians and speakers that help you understand how to share your story effectively, but also speakers with inspiring stories. So if you want to learn more about how you can share your story and learn directly from speakers like myself and other people, all you got to do is go to riseandrecord.com, get your tickets, check it out. We have a lot of great stuff up there. You can see from the past testimonials, past speakers. It's been a crazy time doing this, and this event is going to be amazing. So to recap, learn to tell stories in your communication, in your sales, in your videos, if you're doing film projects, in all areas of your life, be able to help more people, have more success, and help people retain information better. Until next week, you all, I hope you guys have a great week. And as always, here's to your success.